Hello, welcome to GLL. And I feel like it's quite relevant that we just opened on a wide shot of the waters here in Stockholm, because that was a rather wet round we just experienced on Miramar. But the boys behind us are going to be very happy indeed, because we're about to go to Erringau, and it's highly unlikely we're going to see quite a shocking second circle. I say shocking in the best kind of ways. We love a little bit of drama here at GLL. But we are now resetting for Erringau. And what kind of impact do you think that's going to make on some of these teams, Avenger?
I honestly, coming into a new map, you want to reset, but it's harder for some teams. The teams that are not land proven but land experienced, they're going to be so much better at just say, guys, whatever happened in 2 last games, let's just start from fresh. We're going in a wrangle. We're going in where we have the most experience, and that's what they want to do going forward here. So I'm really excited to see if these teams that are, this is the first day, are they still kind of excited, or are they ready to take on their usual game as they play online and everything?
Skomas, as someone who has played at many a LAN like this, what happens when your team perhaps has underperformed in those first maps? How do you get your head back into the game? What would the teams be talking about right now?
I mean, when I played all the LANs in the previous teams, or Liquid and now Team Reciprocity, we treat every game as brand new. Like every time is a best of one. We don't look at past results. I mean, you can take away maybe slight mistakes, some good points that you did throughout that game and translate it, but you basically reset if you have bad games, and you just carry on and play best of one. Completely forget it.
Now, we are going to look at the leaderboard again, because before the break, I wasn't actually sure whether this was the real leaderboard, whether these were the true scores, but it turns out they are.
Nice.
They are. So we can see Red Diamonds are comfortably at the top there because they've had 2 very strong placements, whereas Knights obviously went out quite early in that second round. But unlike the Knights, usually we see them get a little bit tilted after they crash out early, but I don't think they're going to be feeling too bad about that last round.
I mean, they started strong, right? They had a really amazing first game, obviously. So they tend to also do really well when they sort of have that motivator behind them. They're fired up. Last time that they performed really well was at Season 2 GLL. So in the same context of us saying, well, CIS has pressure to win because they're the back-to-back defending champions, Knights knows that they can win here. They know that they can win among the tough fields. GLL is generally some of the toughest competition that we see in a yearly basis, and they know that they can hang. So I think that Knights actually thrive in some of these harder fields because they know what to expect from the teams they play, and they know how to fight them.
And I saw you guys all backstage before we went live today. You're watching the teams warm up. Slightly different from scrims, because people tend to scrim in their regions, don't they? Whereas this was more of a warm up, but we still found some quite important information from that, didn't we, Toffees?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take too much away from warm-ups, but there is sort of, we've recently started watching those warm-ups, and you don't get to watch them, the public doesn't get to see it, but there is a little bit of mind gaming, position earning that does happen there. For instance, I expect E United generally drops in Shelter and Prison. They decided to mess with Team Ready and dropped on them in Pochinki and pushed them out during the one warm-up they had on Erangel. What that generally means is Team Ready may not risk going back, and E United may now be playing the center of the map. So there's those mind games. We talked about the TeamSpeak mind games that teams play sometimes with each other, where they they sort of change their team names on TeamSpeak to sort of mock other teams and try to get them fired up. So there's a lot more that goes into this because of the 16-team nature.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychological warfare going on into these warm-up games where people are going to drop. Am I going to contest you? Are we going to hot drop? So it's very important, this first Erangel game, who is going to take actually what, and we're curious to see how that goes.
Are there any particularly spicy players? Who likes to try and tilt the other players?
Well, they're not here. I think
Cloud9
Cloud9 tend to do that.
Oh,
I think
really?
was it Star Ladder Season 2 where they changed the name on TeamSpeak to Picado and then stopped dropping Picado on you guys?
I think so.
Yeah, Ghost isn't here. They tend to be pretty abrasive in terms of trying to fire other teams up.
So being mean doesn't pay off.
No.
Let that be a lesson to you boys.
Also, ex-teammates is a lot of rivalry, because Samty used to be from Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
Whenever we faced Tempo Storm, there would always be, every time we killed them in the warm-ups, we would shout their name, they would shout ours, and there's always a back and forth with ex-teammates. So
and it does create a fun rivalry. Now, something to watch out for. I think Pochinki could be interesting, because the United guys told me, hey, it worked, we're going back. But Team Ready, with Iroh, who's looking to prove himself in this tournament, this might be their chance to do it. Maybe they go back in heavy and say, we're not giving it up on the first day, and we could see a pretty interesting fight there. So and we don't get to see that a lot. We don't get to see drop fights very often, so maybe we'll get lucky.
Now, boys, I don't know if you noticed, but we are less than a month away from Christmas. I'm very excited. It's why I'm wearing these lovely jewelly colours. I'm getting ready. I'm getting in the mood. And I am not the only one, because our players have been telling us what they're hoping for this Christmas in PUBG.
So my PUBG wishlist for Christmas is to perform good at the tournaments that's going to happen in 2019.
Some new weapons would be nice, maybe like a new sniper or something, change things up a bit.
Best durability and new weapons.
I think everybody wants to see the new map, Vikendi, the snow map, and yeah, I'm really hyped.
The new snow map, that's what I want.
At least a winter map, for sure. Snow map.
Snow map, the new map. I want to see it released, you know, on Christmas.
Good settings for the Pro League would be my wish list.
My PUBG wish list is to win GLL Season 3.
Winning GLL Season 3, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
What do you want for your PUBG Christmas, Avenger?
I actually want the last Knights member to also grow a beard, Drayden. So from last season to now, we've seen Voxic starting to grow a beard, and also Kramer, just a smaller beard. So now we only need Drayden to start growing a beard. That's what I want.
That's literally your PUBG Christmas wish.
Yes.
That's weird. Scoom, what about you?
I mean, I have the Pro League coming up next week, so obviously to be in the Pro League for 2019 will be my Christmas wish.
Toffees.
Snowmobiles.
Snowmobiles.
Yeah, I want snowmobiles.
You want the new.
I want
map.
the snow map. I want tracks. I want car tracks. I want to enjoy playing solo because I can chase people through the snowfall.
Right, we are nearly ready to go into our first game of Erangel. So before we do, I love asking it. You don't like answering so much. Predictions, please, for this first map on Erangel.
Am I starting again?
You are starting again.
God damn it.
I love starting
Let's go
with you.
Dignitas.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm committing.
I might
until
ban
they win a
you. You
chicken
know
dinner.
what? I
The
might
double
actually
down.
ban you from saying the same team twice because you are cursed.
That's
No,
true.
no,
And it's not fair.
At some point, I'm going to hit it. So I'm just committing now. Dignitas.
Okay, committed to Dignitas.
Yeah.
Scoom. Are you going to be boring again?
I was thinking of committing to Liquid, but I don't want to be boring. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
say
go...
face.
NIP.
And I think, okay.
Yeah.
NIP.
Okay, fair enough. I think that Liquid's coming off of a good position right now. They played very well in the last game, and I think that they're going to ride a high into a wrangle. So I will do the boring thing and say it's time for the Finn twins to come out and show us just what they're made of.
I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm coming for you, Jump Teeth, after this game.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll have a drink.
Is that new haircut he's got?
It's that new haircut. I'm just really excited to see the two of them playing together. It's really fun. To be honest, I feel like a proud mum. Anyway, we are going to head over to our fresh-faced casters. They are Sims and Moses for map number 3.
Thank you, Frankie. I am WTF Moses, joined by Richard the Sims, and we are here on Erangel, ready to rock and roll. And Sims, hey, here we go.
There we go.
We were in the dark there for a
God, my
minute,
ginger
but
skin. Help!
I was hoping that I was hoping that we would be able to have a chance here to talk a little bit about what happened last game, but I think we've kind of talked it to death already. So looking forward to Erangel. What are you looking forward to?
Hopefully better circles, I think is the be all. We're going through those videos and everything, snow map. I'm like, better circle,
Yeah.
better circle that literally won't tilt people off the edge of the cliff as... I mean, it's just, that's the only problem with it. Okay, we all love a bit of banter and we all love a fair few memes and whatnot, but when people are literally just dying because they're dive bombing into water, nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to see that. It's a little bit unfortunate, obviously, as things progress. Settings have been gradually getting better. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to hear. Again, I suppose it keeps people on the toes. I mean, some of these boys, they know how to deal with every situation, but when you throw in a curveball like that, hell, throws everything over there.
We were sitting in the green room watching, and I personally was excited. I was excited just because we've never, as far as I can remember, seen an island circle in competitive PUBG. However, it just throws everything to the wind. It's a whoever gets the island first wins. It's very, very random. And I think with Erangel moving here through the last half of the day, the teams are going to be more relaxed. They're going to be able to kind of get into their comfort zone. But, you know, it's one of those things. We're going back to Miramar tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen. But for now, it's about playing your game and kind of being comfortable in Erangel.
I think for some of these teams that are here, obviously, we do have some fresh faces, some newcomers to LAN. Whether or not they can prove themselves now that they're on a LAN environment, they're out of the comfort zone. They're going to be going up against people that have been here before. They've got, you know, a proven track record. They know how to get the job done, as simple as that. There's some bloody strong individuals here. There's some of the best, if not the best teams in the world competing up there.
taking them down on what I would like to call home turf, because Erangel is what everyone does kind of, bread and butter. They've been playing this as a staple map for a hell of a long time, since the very, very beginning.
Almost
now.
2 years now.
Exactly. Some of these boys are really tried and tested in all the nooks, the crannies, the dips, the divots, the angles that you can peek people on. It's not an easy game. You play some of these, you see them in scrims, you see them doing the online events. They're in a world of their own. They're freakishly good in it. It annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with this style of tournament, where everyone's qualified, everyone deserves to be here. They've played through 6 weeks of games, and now this is probably one of the most difficult lobbies to play in, or one of the most difficult tournaments to play in, mostly due to the fact that you have all good teams around you. We've seen in the past where maybe some teams are invited, some teams are qualified, that kind of thing, but everyone here made it. Everyone here is very, very good, and that reduces the margin of error to near nothing. And then we've seen that already in the first couple of games here on Miramar, where even the best teams are struggling to find their stride in rotation, because any little mistake, any little hesitation will cost you.
I mean, it's been I think it's fair to say it can be cutthroat, can the point system, working your way through this, because when you drop down to Bravo lobby, it's really hard, not only to get back up, but to claw back the points. It's only a 50% point lobby. So if you do go down there and you do get yourself back up and you manage to kind of work your way out of the depths, so to speak. I mean, the Knights themselves, even D-Man's been speaking on about it when they win that game anyway. When you kind of look towards it, they did not expect to be seeing them here on the main stage.
Right.
But Knights is one of those teams where you throw them in their environment like this and they live off of it. They thrive off it, man. They really enjoy the competitive environment.
And it's really feast or famine for the Knights, where they've had some instances where they have performed well in tournaments. They have had their moments of greatness, but followed there by a lot of disappointment. And there was some questions about the roster, but they've stuck with it. The organization seems to have a lot of faith in their ability to perform. And coming out of the gate, as they did here, I think renews the faith in everybody here that Knights is still one of the, if not one of the best teams in Europe.
I mean, there's two sides to that coin, right? There's the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But when things are constantly going bad, you have to question whether things are broke or whether things are just having a little bit of a time where you need to pull your head out your ass and get your head into gear. And honestly, we're only in game number 2. This is very early days. This is match number 3 of day 1. Hell, I know it sounds, I don't want to be that guy, but anyone can pick up a win.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anything can go.
Well, I mean, we've seen lots of tournaments where their repeat winners are kind of rare. There's been also cases where Liquid or FaZe will rattle off 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in this instance for the Knights, yeah, I mean, one victory in this land doesn't mean that they're the greatest team here, but at the same time, it's about that confidence coming out. And with the Knights specifically, confidence is a big factor in their game. We've seen that aggressive style from the Knights, which leads to those high kill counts like we saw in game number 1. And we've also seen the hesitant Knights that just flush out of lobbies and we don't see anything from them at all.
I think the one thing I do like about this event overall is the fact that we're seeing a different winner compared to the last 2 previous seasons. We've seen 2 CIS teams come out the gates very, very strong. But the start of Season 3, I think it was quoted many a time on stream, it literally was Russian roulette. All the CIS teams just seemed to implode on themselves. Na'Vi took a complete turn for the worst.
Right.
Everything. Drainus obviously stepped back and begun streaming, which I personally am, credit to the guy. He's an amazing player. Best of luck to him. I would love to see that boy playing again because he's an absolute monster of an individual fragger. I like the fact we're seeing it. Actually, moving on to it, Avanga there, and Noctiv still on the roster. They did go down to random friends, but Avanga then re-picked them back up and dropped their own roster. They're here again. They're fighting it out. The CIS it produces some absolute cracker of individuals, and we saw that with Uber, obviously moving on to FaZe. I mean, hell, we kind of thought, all right, FaZe, they've been the giants now for a while. We've obviously seen Hax take a step back. He's on Reciprocity. Who can fill the shoes of a player like that on FaZe? How do you fix this wall together? You put Uber in there. The man is on a mission. The man is an absolute tank of an individual. This is where we come back to the CIS region as a whole.
Right.
But whether or not they'll be winning this time round is a different question, because there's so many teams, anything can happen, anything kind of go. And there's a few teams here that I kind of thought, well, they've really come out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, speaking with Uba specifically, and when it comes to CIS in general, is that the fact that I've heard so much is that they have trouble working together sometimes. Is that these teams, it's the dynamics that are killing these teams, not necessarily the individual talent, but the way the teams work together. And that's prevalent through all of PUBG. We see that in North America, we see that in Europe. And talking about FaZe, him fitting into that roster was kind of a question, because we've seen that Western Europe-centric FaZe roster for so long, bringing in a CIS player of Uba's talent, one of the best players in the world. they can make it work. FaZe is a mature team. They've been through a lot of different situations together, and under the leadership of the team as a unit, I think has been doing quite well.
Personal opinion here, and I could be completely wrong, as you say, there's trouble within the ranks at the upper end and the upper echelons of different things that we don't see behind the scenes. But I think PGI really didn't help out the CIS teams for the simple fact that Na'Vi had to remove Shade initially, well, pretty much straight from its roster because of the age, and the age lock, he couldn't compete there. Shade is just an individual who brings so much firepower and so much to a team. To lose a player like that so close to what was the major event, the biggest event for PUBG stage so far, and then try and rebuild and get something else going. I mean, you kind of saw from the teams in general, the CIS ones, that they did struggle throughout that, but I don't think PGI helped that situation at all. Hopefully they can potentially do well here and prove us all wrong and prove that CIS is here. It's still going strong, we're rocking and rolling, but game number 3, we're moving into Erangel. The bird is alive, and she is moving in from the western side, going all the way to the east.
This is a nice neutral plane path, allowing lots of flexibility here for everyone to kind of get to where they're going. And we saw, we've already seen a couple of scrims, and people have their, these teams have their designated drop spots. But there has been some question marks. Is there going to be any aggression here in the early game? And who's going to be rubbing shoulders here first? And with this neutral plane path, we'll see if anyone wants to get aggressive initially. And it looks like Pachinki might be contested.
I just noticed as well, I said west to east. East to west, excuse me. It's his first cast of the day, right?
It's in the middle.
We can, I mean, for us it is, it kind of is. We can get away with this. Yeah, we're looking towards how we've been seeing things and where these North American teams drop, where the European teams drop, who's going to be going where. Generally, there should only be very few spots that is contested. It looks potentially like the United will win out Pachinki.
We've seen this
them out.
We've kind of seen this in the past too, where maybe it looks like they might contest, but there is some spots around that Pachinki region that'll give them some options. So specifically for EU United, they're going to try and take control of that very important, that pivotal spot in Pachinki, and move on from there. Checking out the Knights here in the prison, they've found relative ease with Voxic just taking it over for himself, getting all that loot. But we are going to be headed to that northwestern side of the map. And that should be a relatively easy transition here in the early game if those who choose to leave early want to do so.
We'll give you a quick rundown of where, throughout the entirety of the qualification through this competition, generally speaking, where teams should have dropped, and then we can kind of eye it up to this map and, in comparison. So, obviously, Liquid, Yasnaya boys, they're in, they're sitting happy. This is exactly where they go. You'll always see Ibby, he'll break off from the pack, go get themselves a vehicle, then drive it in just as a backup in case there isn't as many as they actually want inside there. NIP, I mean, hell, they were called WTSG for a reason. Welcome to South Georgia. You won't expect them to go any other single place. We even saw it, I believe it was at PGI, one of the Gen G teams pushing them, or at least definitely one of the Korean teams that says, you know what, we know where they are, but we'll just go East Town and have a go against you. It's not a problem whatsoever. FaZe, again, it's the FaZe meme. They've been in Mill to power since day one. They're still there. They're still going strong. The power of the FaZe clan is real. They're a presence on the map all the way back from when they were called G-Core. The one thing you will see now, and you can actually see it here, which is a bit more, I'd say, in the last 4 to 5 months, they do extend a bit more. They extend their grip over, which is called the Monkey Compound. Again, Monkey from Vitality, who always used to like to go there quite a lot, and you will see that meme coming up within the backgrounds, but they have extended their reach a little bit further, so that's the usual spot. Another further on down, Besiktas, that should be the shooting range of Severny. I think there was another team, I think it's usually Dig who go up there as well around Severny all the time, so it'd be interesting to see which one of those two teams has potentially pushed back. Maybe they moved further afield. When we bring the map up, we will just check in on that, because I didn't actually catch where that one got. Accelerate should be Stalber. Eleganton's usually the Gakka and surrounding areas. Further afield again, the Knights Mansion, usual spot. You saw that at the start. Primorsk should be Wildcard Gaming. Lo and behold, that's exactly where they are. It is indeed Dignitas. It is School, all right. There's going to be loot for them, but you might potentially expect some early engagements because they're going to be clustered, I would say, between 2 or 3 teams potentially.
Speaking of which, Gaxi, taking a look at Best Luck. He's chilling in the hospital building here. Red Diamonds, they've been they had their first victory here on land, and now they've found themselves in an interesting position, kind of in the circle. Not a lot of need to move very quickly, but they do have NIP sandwiched between their split currently, with Optic starting to make that first move, getting found by Savage. And it's going to be a stop here. This is going to be a commitment from Baha Waka. He stopped Adasi. He doesn't want to get caught out by potentially an entire team here. But for now, it's a 1v1. You can hear the motorcycle now moving. He's going to try and maneuver around, see if he can find a line of sight. Savage trying to make his escape along the riverbed, and he will do just that. But now he's been spotted by the rest of Optic. Taking shots now. This is not looking good for Savage. He's headed into the open fields, might do a backflip. We'll see if he has any style points in the tank, but he's just trying to make his way away from Optic. And it will be no backflip. Sad days.
I mean, if he would have caught him in the 1v1, in theory, he would have won going up against the Mini with the barrel. The barrel should, depending on the armor, come out on top. Again, automatic versus the long-range rifle. The circle, though, it does push north, northwest, which will give a lot of the teams down. I'd say more towards the southern kind of eastern bank, a bit of power to be able to keep these teams that do want to rotate. I mean, you might get the old phase rotation where they go up all the way along the east coast and then touch on the north coast and just kind of rum it in through there and come down the backside of Severny or up on the hillside, just where you can see as it does touch that eastern edge of it. The teams that may have some problems and may have some troubles are the ones that are going to be coming down from military. You know, you got Vanga in Milta, Elgiganten do have a little bit of room to play if they want to take Potato Hill, but you wouldn't expect anybody to be there in theory. You'd say, okay, it's clear there's no real reason that a team would. No one loots around that area, so to speak, apart from Pachinki to the left-hand side, so they might be able to potentially punch in there. Liquid again, because they control Yasnaya Bridge is 9 times out of 10 always free, so they can just punch through. They might take the pond area just as a backup, skirt the edges of the pond around the side. There's a Grozafia. Nice little 7.62 weapon, strongest AR in the game. Happy days for that, but it's the level 3s that you want. We'll keep an eye and see if any team does make an advancement. NIP probably in the best position to do so.
They might have spotted it from the bridge position here. They're on their way north and not centering just yet. Dignitas, the fan favorite, at least for Martin, who's picked this team every game so far to win. They have recently undergone further roster changes, but they, I think, are quite happy with the way things have settled out now. Alo and Purdy Curdy joining the team. This being an important pivotal tournament for them heading into what will be the Pro League in North America. As for Dignitas, they find themselves in the center of the circle on the northern side of the river, which is where teams are now trying to decide if they want to bank on. The circle seems to favor the southern side, but we've seen how the circle can handle itself in the last game on Miramar. So for Avangard, they're already in transition, looking to find the path going to the western side of the map. So really that Optic split is an interesting choice where they have the Razak looting team of Hypoc and Valiate with Bahawak and Hetror holding on to the choke point. This is a nice little position here from Optic, who I think should have the benefit of both loot and positioning here in the early game.
I mean, you run the risk of maybe getting caught off guard by some late rotators that potentially could come through here. But again, you've got those two on the advancement that can watch ahead, make sure it's okay, boys, this is clear, you can arrive here. Or if worst case scenario does happen, they lose 2 of the players, you have the emergency backup, the insurance policy, so to speak, that these two can continue playing and try and play for the points and the placements. As you mentioned, Dignitas, they are just going to rummage through. That'll be the Roshawk Hill side where you got all these little 3 towers, but this is where things start to get difficult. You can see the vehicles are moving, the rotations are coming through. Stalber should get a little bit busy, but not necessarily busy so people will crash into one another. Again, if you do see these drivers on the way through, they'll have a beep at each other. They'll say hello, but they won't get out and fight. They'll want to keep going. It all kind of goes on accelerate, though, for me. Where do these guys pull up? Because
they're already moving. It looks like they've only left 1 behind. So.
There could literally be an obstacle.
Yeah.
If a team could crash into them, just line them up. I mean, they're either going to get knocked down or do the knocking themselves. Nice, just looking for a nice prime position. Easy for them. There's no one really around them. They'll probably go the most northern route compared to anybody else, but for me, I want to watch FaZe. Depending where they fall into this one, this is a route that they're used to, so to speak.
They don't rush, though. I mean, they're kind of in the back of the pack right now, but they don't ever rush anything. So I mean, for FaZe, they're going to just try and find the easiest route there. They're coming now in a not specifically ideal route for the Milta Power to the western side of the circle that we've seen so far. But they typically will only lose those in rotation when they get caught out in a trap. So for them right now, with everyone being in their vehicles, like you said, have a bit of a honk. But look at this. It's Hypoc actually trying to rejoin his squad mates. He's going to be the first one out of this game from the looks of it, but that's not before he gets a little bit more pressure from the teammates. Here comes the nade. It's going to be a finish here. That's going to land almost right in his lap, and that's going to be it for Hypoc. So first one out of the game, Optic losing 1 in transition, and that's where you can see now where Valiate and Hypoc, they were trying to rejoin their squad mates, Hetror and Bahawaka, but that's Team Ready interrupting them.
Hypoc First person going down. Being a victim to Brexit like the rest of us over in the UK, unfortunately. Envious, obviously, just playing a little bit cautious, make sure no one's camping on the bridge. I mean, generally speaking, at high end, high level, we don't see this. We see gentlemen's agreements. But you know what? If someone wants to be a bit of a bugger now and again, they will do it. Maxi, can anti-8 and a 6 times on the back of it, seeing if he can scout out some individual players. If he can keep these players away from those compounds, that gives his team a little bit more of an extension to look around and potentially have somewhere to rotate through and from if they need to go and get themselves a compound for whatever reason being. Vegas obviously spawned someone down in the ruins as well. There's the warning shots coming through. Now, my only concern to what you were going to potentially say earlier on, Moses, was the Knights obviously playing it a little bit slower than most of the teams. They will arrive to this one. They've been lucky in the fact that the Knights have moved away from Severny. They did touch on Severny. They took a look through. Now they've carried on. My question was going to be, do FaZe hit a team been so slow in? Do they actually find a team chilling in the compound waiting for them? The answer is no. They're going to get into this one. They're going to have quite a lot of time to play with, maybe even a little enough time. I mean, you can see they're very, very aware of Sev, if anyone's still in there.
FaZe is so consistent with how they rotate into the circle. They always stop in that little divot by the gas station just to the north of Severny. Now they're going to move a little bit forward. Now they might get stuck up with the Knights there. Accelerate. Taking some shots at Avangar, still trying to find a place to call home. Inuctive taking some damage, but he's going to call it a show right there and just kind of hang out.
I mean, Squeaky can just be the kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? The telescope, so to speak. He's just going to spin around. He's on top of a hill, calling out where individuals are going to be going. It's the western bank. What's quite empty. Obviously, a lot of people are banking on that it will shift towards the east. You do have this river running through, so it'll be intriguing to see where it does. Do we go north? Do we go south? If it goes to the west, everyone's just going to shift. We have a lot of teams potentially running. I mean, it's a good sized circle, so a fair few of them will be able to at least sit where they are for now. Unique, bearing their edges on this compound. Wildcard will work their way in. They'll find one themselves as well. Completely free, and there you have it. Wow. We are going north.
So this is going to cause a ton of map pressure along that southern side. Now, Optic, having lost one, Valier kind of out of position, really, maybe hoping that he could have rejoined his teammates earlier, but that was put to a stop by Team Ready taking down IPOC. So now look at this jumble of players headed right towards shooting range. You just called it. Valier trying to get one back. Savage still on the motorcycle trying to get away. Team Ready getting up with United still. And now, Sims, this is going to be a difficult transition. This is going to be a very choke point-oriented move here from all these southern teams.
It is indeed. They're already starting first up on the hillside. They'll watch Avangard as make this way underneath the map and go inside the bunker. Unfortunately, Snoopy, though.
He's not going to make it in,
He's overshot. Oh, Mexi's actually just been dinked, though. Mexi's opened up a gap here. Maxi with the face. Mexi goes down. They fall back for a sec because now they have to get him up. They've tagged him up again. This could be the loss of Mexi early on.
This is very
they've got him. They've got him.
Yeah, they've got the res started. Uh-oh. But look at this. This is more troubles for Optic. Baja Waka getting found as the Red Diamonds finding them out in the open. But look at this. Now it's Liquid. They've got Accelerate Gaming in a very awkward spot. The nades are already out and over. One bounce. Will it make it over? Just barely. Oh, and it will nail him. That's James taking down Mikaz. It's a terrific grenade coming right down on top of him. Rustin Mars not able to do anything about that. And just like that, Liquid coming alive.
Jimbo with the up and over. Calling the near god for a reason. It's things like that. Precise, just rolls. It gets the kill. United, though, falling victim. How many is that? 1, 2, potentially maybe even 3 that's gone down. They do go out in the open just past the cube stack. This will force Taylor J to rotate back. Savage, unfortunately, he's gone flying off the back of his bike. Jempty back onto Mikaz. He's down and dead. The red blood on the nib means it's a complete kill confirmed. Pin, he's fallen victim as well. It's a headshot from 2man with the M16. And again, just absolutely look at the shooting range. I mean, hell, shooting range by name, shooting range by nature right now. 3 teams just banged on in there with Liquid on the hillside, FaZe on the opposing side, Knights just to the left-hand side. So you got 3 just trapped in between 6 teams within a range of about 1,000 meters.
I think FaZe maybe recognized it a little bit early to get tangled in a 4-way team fight. Backing off a little bit further north, they're going to allow the next circle to come in and see if they can fight another day. Liquid in an open position, and look at that, unfortunately for Hugstar, arrives right on top of Accelerate, but not before Avangar has something to say about it. So they're kind of trapped in the shooting range. Avangar has got the tunnel and the control here from the shack, and they are now live targets on the shooting range. Envy arriving. They've got so far no casualties, but it hasn't been an easy go here in the first couple of games for Envy. Interrogate, the newest addition to the roster, with Pat Caps joining the core, I guess you could call, of Venerated and Caden.
0 points in the first round. whatsoever. Last placement, Dryfelli. Again, maxes up. Doing work with that K98. This is like a second headshot.
Hitting the shots today.
Yeah, Mexi now. A second one falls victim. You can see the nade god himself.
Boink. Right in the lap. That's pro gaming right there, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a gamer. An octave with the SKS, and the 6 times they can keep these people back, just held back caps as well. He's been a great pickup for Envy.
Is Envy going to commit to this? It looks like they might. They're going to go right on top of El Gigante. They're coming straight in. Look at that. They're landing. And the one will go down. Venerator gets taken down, almost finished immediately. But El Gigante forced inside as Pat Caps come to support. And he will get him through the window. Nice shots there as Gigantin goes down in a hail of bullets as Envy grabs that compound from them.
Tries to get the flush and pick up the 16 points with the knock that he got. I mean, it was a good attempt, but Envy just said, nope, stuff it. We've got one. We'll try and finish with one up. So they take it themselves. Uba this time takes out Asverians. There's an answer back there with the mini. Headshot for headshot, trading back and forth there just between. Mexi looks like he has fallen back to Severny.
Looking for a helmet, guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, he fell down, didn't he? Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, he's gone back to search for a helmet.
I mean, to be fair, you'd expect at least a level 1 to be in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
regardless of looted or not.
Yeah, they did pass through there. I believe the Knights might have had the pickings of it there initially, but anything is better than nothing. So for Lux, he's got a bit of a line on Dignitas down the hill. Liquid and Dignitas have been kind of jousting a little bit. And that is now spotted. Lux is like, okay, fair enough.
Oh, push my luck, so to speak. Red Diamonds, no one really surrounding them. You do have Wildcard Gaming directly in front of them. We'll see how it
look at
Optic.
Optic's in a complete split here. We're going to go all the way north. This is looking good for FaZe and the Knights, who find themselves on the coastal area. Avangar still technically in the center, but they've been getting poked at from distance.
I'll tell you what's interesting now, because Mexi's fallen back to Severny. He can also lock down that backside of Severny, so no one can theoretically come behind them, so they can hold the hill forward and just hold it forward and make, keep a lot of space and a lot of room for him. But Mexi can, in theory, just sit back and say, okay, well, I've got his asses covered, boys, not a problem. Gempty.
That car's moving slow. Gempty's going to have to come to a stop. He's taking a lot of damage.
Dungeon run.
And now we'll see if he's going to have to use some utility to get out of this position. That car's about to go up. More damage taken by Gempty. He's very, very low. He will survive so far. He's got hard cover. James also skating by in the buggy. That's a little bit more dangerous. Those things spin very easily. You have to be careful. But for Liquid, no casualties so far. Empty might be left behind here.
He's got turned.
Maybe we can go for a little bit of a rescue mission here. Oh, there goes one tire, and the spam comes out. That might be a hard commit now with 2 players from Liquid being stuck behind this rock. The utility's out there trying to move, and the spam is coming from Accelerate.
Pride gets knocked and finished in the kill feed. It's Best of Luck who takes him down with the AKM. Again, you could see James, he was trying to get away from that and continue through, but the players on the top of the hill forced him back. The smoke went down. He said, okay, well, I'll pick you up and we'll get the hell out of here. But unfortunately now, as you mentioned, Moses, it might potentially be a hard commit. It all depends where Besiktas goes, because if they push forward again, they can lock them down on that hillside. But this is, oh boy, this is
right
very close.
Red Diamonds gets caught out here, and that's going to be 1 down, 2 down from Sharpshot. Tumai getting traded, Kickstart coming on to support, and this is looking like Wildcard has the better of Red Diamonds here on the hillside, just on the edge of the zone. S1D a little bit further behind. He's got all his teammates down. He's the last man standing with Tumai, the only man down from Wildcard. The res now coming from Kickstart. This is going to be clutch with more shots coming, and that's coming now from Liquid. Team ready. Merkengore getting it.
Tomo will find one of them as well. Ira. He gets knocked out the back of the car.
And that's that. That sucks.
Second one as well. I mean, really, where do you go at this point? They're all committing to an area that you would have thought there'll be plenty of people here. So why are you running down this hillside? Go to the edge. Play the edge right now. Play the hillside. There's going to be no real room or place to actually go. James takes a bullet from the K9. He's down. He's knocked. Best Log gets answered back by Tumai. Good kill from him. He finishes him off. One individual player remaining from that team lurking somewhere. That's going to be the Diamonds. Unfortunately, it will be Sid himself. Sid the Snake will have to just kind of claw his way up the rankings. Hetra, Christ knows how he's made it directly into the center of the circle, but he's done it whatsoever. And yeah, Sid the Snake's gone. His fellow from Unique in the CIS region does take him down, and they end there running 15th place.
Miracu getting a finish off on the sharp shot, not allowing Wildcard to revel in their victory. Wildcard has taken a couple of casualties. Dignitas, the Tunnel Snakes themselves, they've found
The alternate bunker looking down towards Severny where Envy has arrived. Not a lot of lines of sight, not a lot of information to glean, but for Jeems, he's down and out. That's going to be Liquid's first casualty, and that's all of the frags belonging to Jeems on that team 3 so far.
I think that was potentially a steal. He did get knocked by someone else's K9, so they've come back in and finished him off. It would have been an insta altogether.
Dignitas, I'm wondering now what the game plan is here. This is not a lot of cover as they come out of this tunnel.
I didn't realize they got Valiant behind him as well.
Yeah, Valiant's been split off from his team from the very beginning, ever since they were in Razak and the choke point.
I mean, they're playing it as an insurance job now, right?
Well, I think it's just by necessity they can't get together. We've seen that from Optic so often where they just can't stay together. Meanwhile, Wildcard continuing to take shots from Unique. That's Tumai down, and they're on the precipice here of going out very early in this game.
An Octave, finally.
Yeah, there's no cover.
He's found two.
Yeah, this is difficult for Dignitas. They ran out, no utility. I don't see any smokes down. They just come down the hillside into the shooting range. I imagine they wanted to take the wall here, but with no utility on the ground, you have to wonder what the call was. You have to know there's people here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you said yourself, wonder what the play is. The question is now with 2 down, imagine if Valier just strikes at the right time and catches them both with the pants down.
Well, Valier's got a long run ahead of him as well. This circle getting ready to shift once again. Envy trying to figure. Envy is probably going to want to take this this hill where Venerated is. They've got the shack held currently. They're listening to all these shots, and now they're starting to trade with Dignitas at distance. It's pretty Curdy being stolen. And meanwhile, yeah, Dignitas has got nothing to do here. They have to. They are out of the zone, and they have to find a spot here, and it's going to be at the shooting range.
American Sniper himself, Caden, M24 silenced as well. Banger of a scope, looking all the way across the 8 times. Maxi again, time and time again with his K9, a beautiful death. He's not dead just yet, but he is knocked down himself. 14 teams remain, 43 individual players still remaining. We've got 2 minutes and 17 seconds before this next circle will push through. Maxi again.
I think that's a finish there. Hetror, surprise. Wildcard is eliminated. Hetror found him as Samty tries to finish the sandwich in the back. So that is one kill going to Optic, the other going to Liquid. Meanwhile, Optic, I believe that's Valiant now arriving very late. And he's going to be taken down by Dignitas. Maybe he'll get finished by Dignitas as well. He will indeed. So now it's only Hetror. He is dead center. He's got himself a shack and a couple of bodies to sort through as well. For FaZe, they were spotted by the Knights, but Dignitas, it's just, what are you doing?
Gems is also just been killed on Team Liquid. We did see that one in the kill feed essentially. Venerated onto Allow. He's gone. That's only a knock. It's not quite a finish just yet, but
he's got a little bit of cover, but there's no res coming.
Nah, the zone will finish him off. 13 teams, unlucky for some. I'll tell you, I might be lucky for at this point, though. Hetra, inside the shack, just praying. Nobody decides they want to walk in here. This could be it.
See the timing. That looks so. That's a nice little trio of nades, but I think all of them ineffective as the Besiktas has decided, we're coming for you. Can't see the smoke, remind you. And there it is. Simsy will find him.
Just comes around the corner, 4 players. I mean, you've got to push on. You might as well take him out while you can do, which they do. But they've got a downhill battle, so we speak, because Unique will see them in open ground here. They have the smokes. They can lay them down. They've got to build a wall. They've got to build something to be able to walk behind, because that is a very open field, and that is a very, very nice line of sight. Caden back onto Maxi. Maxi finally gets a taste of his own medicine.
There you go.
That's the 24 with a headshot.
Yeah, Maxi has been hitting the headshots all game long. We saw him take down Mixi first, but now it's Caden answering back. They are stuck in the tunnel. Liquid being spotted as well. Caden now, this is looking good for Envy. We talked about this a little bit earlier about them taking this hill when they had the shack, and now this hill is great for range of motion. They've got good cover. They can move up and down, but Rust and Mars decided to play a little bit of a spoiler. They're taking some long-distance shots. Besiktas now taking it to Unique, I believe, at the northern side of the zone. They're trying to make their way in. Rust and Mars, just lots of smoke, lots of lines of sight broken here. Besiktas now getting shot from long distance from Nip as well, and we are going to see another shift. Hetror finding the zone, but it's going to be no activity here as Envy, I believe, has the opportunity here to break this side of the zone open, but they have to move as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate for Besiktas then, because unfortunately it's Nip who got the line of sight on them. You can see Gaxi here with this MK. He might be able to do more damage. They did manage to get a pick on one of the teams, on Unique, excuse me, that is just currently staring down the barrel at them. The Knights are going to go on the northern rotation. They need to be careful because FaZe are lurking. As long as they don't get overzealous, they will not crash into them. And love to bring that map up for a second just to see exactly if FaZe do get challenged anytime soon. They're still just lurking and waiting. NBS have taken up and repositioned to where they were, giving them the last bits of the free ground for now. But again, all these teams still have to make their way out.
They got to come out of the shooting range.
Yeah.
And that's going to be into the welcome arms of Envy on the side of that hill. So
here we go. Drayden, he'll set up shop. Nip will move in, but they are outside here.
They know FaZe is there. They saw them earlier, but Nip coming in behind them is going to be the factor here. With Nip now having direct line of sight onto Drayden, they're going to have to reuse that vehicle. But they're getting stuck in the shack, and now this is not looking good for the Knights. They have all sorts of pressure coming their way. Drayden now is going to have to commit. He knows he can't drive away without getting caught up by Nip or FaZe. And now this is a tough sandwich to be in for the Knights.
Texas just got battered. SLR and MK staring at him. I think one was the knock and one was the finish instantly. No getting away from that one, but you touched on it, Moses. They're not inside the circle. They have to do something here. They have to take more. Wow. And they're dead.
That's it for them. I mean, it was a one-on-one and or excuse me, a team versus team fight there with Unique getting the upper hand and Besixdas maybe a little bit late. They got kind of held up by Taylor J behind them. Trifoli and the rest of Accelerate. They're moving their way up. They can hear the moving vehicle of Liquid. This is very precarious here for Liquid, but they don't want to peek. They know that there's so many eyes looking their way. The shooting range. They have Sixmo behind them as well, Richard. That's a potential fatal flaw in the plan if he wants to pop up.
I mean, he's going to play for... He'll try and finish somebody off before he dies, which is fair play. You might as well pick up the extra 16 points, but you won't expect him to challenge it and go just kind of guns blazing. NBS looking for a place to kind of set up shop. There is potential here that he might be able to get the Harry Potter tower.
Look at this.
Ubar, Fuzzface, Envy just falling at the whip there. 2 players down, Caden's gone. That's the M24 now removed.
It's a hit and run. Looks like FaZe popped over the ridge. They couldn't full commit. They know the Knights are behind them. They don't want to get flanked. The smokes and the grenades now being used on both sides. Those nades landing a little bit short. That arm not quite as strong in-game as in person. Fuzzface trying to chuck that grenade far and wide. Trifoli taking some shots.
Been a bit of a nuisance of himself this game with that K9.
Yeah, no doubt. There's been a lot of long-distance shots here. Lots of sight lines in this open northern region. But FaZe is very interested in what the Knights are doing. I think that this is the reason why they've pulled back this way. They can hear now Liquid getting into it with NIP.
Samtip. No helmet, but he's got an arm. And he's throwing nades and he's pushing NIP back. He's killed one of them already. Look at the aggression.
He's going to get a helmet.
Yeah, I like it. Pick it up and just keep going. He can keep them back outside the hill. Ibby's just firing bullets, just saying, boys, stay away from the center. Sixmo, as we spoke about earlier on.
He's not doing anything, I don't think.
There's not what he can do, mate. He's just got to play for placement.
Too late. Yeah, it's too. Sorry, I would say it's too early. Dignitas, Adam stuck in the blue there. NBS taking down. Play with me. Unique now. Oh, that's lots of nades heading towards Avangar. Adam is there. He's playing a factor, but not for long. His Squeak will take him down before he can do too much damage to Avangar. But the damage is being done elsewhere as Rustamar lands and finishes a nade. The smoke's coming down, but it's too late. Here comes the press. It's Ezra, and he's going to have to try and defend, but he's got only an angle to work with, and the shots are going to start to ring out. He comes wide out of the circle, gets spotted. The nades landing, almost doing some team damage there for Asburn. He's using his smokes to his advantage, coming through this area. This is actually not going as well as I expected for Accelerate. We have lost Asburn in the smoke.
He's hiding while this is all going on. We're still seeing Liquid grenading the living hell out of NIP. They've got another one down. Samty's still here, just smoking his way through. 4 times on the back, so he might be able to get a tag as Gaxi does lob one for himself, but he's moved to the left-hand side. That doesn't do any damage, which is pretty lucky for him, to be honest with you. They're reading this one very well.
Sixmo, do something. It's time. He's right there.
Go.
Do it.
Fire.
Pew, pew.
Go. What's he doing?
He's watching. He's taking zone damage.
I'm really confused.
Sixmo.
I mean, this could be the cleverest play ever.
Are you ready? He's right. Are you going to snap his neck? What are you going to do?
Pan him. Pan him. Go on, pan him. By the way, the Knights have just gone down, so that's FaZe. They're going to take out Krim, Madrid, and Voxic. They're down, they're dead. MBS, he's knocked as well. He's
Solid
finished off.
Here.
Play with me, he's gone. NIP are gone, so are Avangar. 3 teams just like that in less than 10 seconds. This is the crunch time. Sixmo still there, still holding on for life.
He's very sneaky at the very least, but now he's been spotted and eliminated, so he gets nothing for it. Dies to the zone, so that's that. Team ready. What can you say? Moving on, we have FaZe still kind of trying to poke away at Envy, who's come to a full stop here. And this is where Envy gets into trouble, where they're not moving forward, they're moving backwards, it seems. But right now, they're not moving anywhere. They're stuck between FaZe and a hard place. which is the rest of the zone, they do have a divot to use.
Look at what FaZe have done. They've split off into 2 packs of 2, which again just extends the reach further into the circle and covers so much ground. You're then edging your bets. Exactly. You're edging your bets on where this next circle is going to go, because if you're there already, you don't necessarily have to rotate. Everybody has to rotate towards you.
Look at Hetroar. He gets another couple of kills there. And the Shack Man has been doing some damage. And now it's Play With Me, and that's going to be Team Unique getting eliminated on the back of Hetroar playing the Shack Man. As Uba and the rest of FaZe, we've just talked about it, exuding massive map control on the northern side. And look at all the space they've made for themselves.
Well, look at the circle. Because it's gone to where they are, they had 2 players already sat there.
They condense, they move a little bit further to the west, and they have total map control. They'll let the southern end deal with itself, as now Envy is going to have to move. Rust and Mar and the rest of Accelerate still. Envy is in a rough spot here. They've really been taking a lot of damage, and they have 2 teams looking at them from either side. 10 total kills now for Accelerate, who have been having a decent round here. Some aggression maybe biting them in the butt a little bit, but it's been playing well for them.
Hey, guaranteed top 5 placement here and 160 points already in the bag. It's a damn good game so far. 6 kills as well. Ibi yet to find 1, but Uba and Mexi 3 apiece, so 6 kills for them. On the opposing side of FaZe with Mexi.
I think they're going to lose Uba.
Oh, yeah, he's just been hit pretty hard. Down he goes, and again with the knock earlier on, the bleed out should be quickly, especially with them carry on continuous fire. Circle pushing in 12 seconds
Envy's making
time.
their move, and it's not going to work. They're going to just get picked apart by FaZe. Oh! That was actually EB getting the down, but Mixie gets down Pat Caps. So it's a bit of a trade situation here, as EB will down and finish Venerated. Pat Caps being finished by Mixie, bleeding out quickly, and now this is not looking good.
He got him on the lean.
Yeah, I believe so.
Hit him and slammed him in the, I think, on the chin. Good God.
I'm looking on the map here, and this is now Rust and Mar getting, again, active. It's Accelerate slowly but surely with this 2-man team moving into the zone. They've got EB down and finished from the looks of it. He can't move too far. Samty did collect himself a level 3 helmet, but lost himself a teammate in the process.
Stole it.
And that's EB getting stolen by Fuzzface. That's another point. That's another kill, rather, going to FaZe. Oh, and the jumping, evasive headshot not working out. Unfortunately, Trifley is going to take down Fuzzface. That's a tough shot to hit.
These boys are playing out of their mind right now. I mean, this is insane. It's his force
Safe
to kind
res,
of...
though.
Yeah, which is fair play. I mean, he can play point, but he's got to be careful because... The issue is that you're a little bit concerned now. You're very worried. These boys are missing helmets. They're missing utility. They're damaged. But the problem is, oh, that's a nade.
That's,
oh no.
Hello?
Oh,
that's out of harm's way, but that was very well thrown. Trifley being very aggressive. He's come all the way up onto FaZe. He's in the open now. He's got no cover to work with, but he's got Rust and Mar at the back line. I think they know Hetroar is in the shack, or at least in the smoke, near the shack, I should say.
The concerning thing is how much damage he's been doing from range. That's what would be worrying most if I'm FaZe. It's like I can't really peek or poke here, especially if they're missing helmets, because it's... I know you get the insta anyway, but it's going to be even more damage to face. FaZe, they do have this little dip they can play off, but the circle hasn't been kind to them. They're the ones that need to make an advancement here.
Good mobility, though. They can come all the way around, push the gap onto Samty. If they've been paying attention, they're going to know that there's probably only 1 or 2 left on this side, considering all the gunshots happening on the southern side. So Fuzzface now exposed that beautiful bald head. No helmet to be seen. He's maybe going to try and claim one off of Samty if he can find him. Samty waiting in the wings.
No beard either. It knocked it off. What a banger of a shot that was.
Yeah, took it all. They can see the car. Maybe the nades come out here. They're a little bit cautious. That's Mixing missing his helmet still as well. I guess he couldn't find one earlier.
Yeah, I think he got knocked again. I think there was 2.
Didn't see him. Didn't see Samty. We can see the X-ray, but they can't see him. So now Samty peeks up, and there it is. Shots come out. Liquid facing elimination here, looking at 4th place. The headshot, maybe looking for it, just to spam, looking for any angle. No blood. Nade bounces out of the way, but this is going to be Mixie just picking away at Samty, and he's going to find himself a new helmet as AC the Loot Goblin gets there first. FaZe eliminating Liquid. 3rd place at best now. Rust and Mar, he's got a line. Oh, and he will get him. That's another headshot.
That's a head, yeah.
Best FaZe missing that helmet, and down he will go. And just like that, it's Hetroar
again.
Sneaky Hetroar. He's always behind you, and here comes the molly. Little crispy death maybe for Rust and Mar as he will go down. But now that's a lot of information coming as FaZe now in position to just grab this game.
Again, when you're moving forward with things like that as well, being allowed to pick up the level 3's item as he went from having nothing whatsoever to become completely kitted out, chest and helmet.
Actually,
boy.
80 got that kill.
Oh, really?
He took it from Optic.
Well, he's going to have information here, but the smoke's down. He's been hearing these shots. Mexi can at least maybe push on this one and clean him out. But again, you've still got this other lone person just been a new. He's behind them.
He's right behind him. He can do a lot of damage here. He can hear the shots, and there goes Headroar. So now it's up to Tripoli
Now it's a problem
to execute. Uh-oh. He's been spotted.
Yeah.
Here comes the spam. He will not get it, and that is going to be FaZe taking their first victory here in the Season 3 Finals at GLL. And that is a nice execution. That is a classic FaZe game right there.
Fantastic rotations, fantastic teamwork, and again, just playing so... It's not even passive, it's progressive. Keeping an area locked down and then extending your arm's reach when it's time to do so.
Put your shoes on.
I mean, that's what you want to. That's what you want to see. You get comfortable. I thought, you know, this might be the trick.
Yeah.
Getting comfy. This will land you these shots, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, Trifield was playing out of his mind that game.
That was
so
actually
shots.
That was a really good game from Accelerate. I mean, the Finner squad, they've been absolutely hitting their shots, and that was really nice. I think that they have to be happy with that result. I think with a little bit of changes in the way they came out of the shooting range area, considering how many teams were there, that was actually very well played. But for FaZe, it's the consistent, that very easy and smooth pace for them. It's the classic FaZe game where they just kind of don't freak out, they don't make any rash decisions, they play with the punches, and they did very well.
I like the fact that they've added two, and again, I think this is what kind of goes for FaZe. And again, I always say this: we can't necessarily say anything altogether, but I think they've found two perfect players that kind of cement this roster again, and they're going to continue as strongly as what they did previously. I think we're going to throw it back to the stage now. We're done over here on the desk before we get into game number 4. Frankie and the team, over to you.
All right, I'm with the winner chicken dinner, FaZe Clan over here. Let me get over here. Congrats on that chicken dinner, by the way, guys. First one of the event. During that game, what was the turning point for you guys?
I mean, when we had to push out the compound, when we killed one of the envious guys, kind of like we destroyed their game, so they can't be the threat we think they could be for us. So we killed one of them, but like I think the finale was when we killed Knights on the sack next to us. We killed like 3 of them, so we had like the whole north side for free us, so we could like play whatever we want, just hold, and we got some good circles there too. So it was good teamwork from us.
Yeah, you guys got a couple of good circles. So who made the call to go up north?
Yeah, it was me initially, and then when it kept shrinking north, it's always those like 50-50 circles. You have to choose either one, or you can stay in the middle and be fast for the rotation on the second zone. But we opted up to go north in the beginning.
All right, let me go over there. So I got to ask you, you guys had 3 members alive for like the later half of the game, right? How does that affect the strategy here?
I mean, not that much. If it's 3 alive, but I don't know, I still miss one guy. It's not helps for you. It's better to be 4 alive. And I died for nothing, pretty much.
The newest member of FaZe Clan, by the way. How you feeling so far?
Pretty good. First chicken dinner of this tournament, and it's not the last one. So.
And the synergy within the squad, I mean, you guys kind of mixing and mashing pretty well.
I mean, we keep growing as a team, so trying to find our playstyle and stuff.
Keep growing as a team. I mean, that's all you can ask for. So let me go over here. Got one more question for you. What you got? What are you just breaking down?
We were just talking about the cycles from last game, and that we, kind of deserved some of the cycles this game. So
you kind of deserve it. So do you feel like you guys used up all your circle luck though, or do you think the last 2 games of tonight we'll get some more of that FaZe love?
I think we'll get some more FaZe love. Yeah.
All right, I'll let you discuss the previous game with your team. Let's go to Frankie at the desk and have her break it down.
Thank you so much, Dave. Yes, we're going to be breaking it down right now. And I feel like we'll start at the end. It always feels appropriate to start here because of that final 3 teams in that circle. I mean, is it worth talking about it, Toffees? Because FaZe looked pretty confident from the off.
I mean, it's the nature of FaZe, right? FaZe plays their best PUBG when they're walking in a straight line. Like, once FaZe feels confident enough to just release all fear and just kind of play that sort of we're chasing all the birds out of the brush and taking them down one by one, it's undone. I think that the one thing here is Sampy potentially, if he had just stayed low and hit him behind the car, might have gotten a chance to spoil one and open the game up for everybody. But he got a little anxious, popped up too soon, and that was the end of that. And then once he went down, I don't think there was anything to really stop FaZe from just cleaning up the rest of the map.
Yeah, I mean, the initial rotation pretty much won them the game. It was like FaZe was talking about, it was 50-50. You choose either side, and FaZe tend to do that rotation a lot. They like to play the north side. If it does shrink to north, they have the whole ground they can play from north because no one else is coming, and that's what pretty much they did. It kept on shrinking north, obviously it favored them, but they got a lot of kills. Because of that, they created so much ground for themselves and ended up winning.
Well, and that's the key to it, right? Everybody, Dave said, you think you'll keep getting the circle luck, but that's a cop-out. I mean, they loot Mill to Power, for Christ's sake, and they won a map on the opposite side of their loot area. They have a very smart northern rotation. Like you said, they know Severny gets abandoned. There's nobody else up there, really, in that area, so it's a safe bet and then an easy trickle down, and I think that they earned it every step of the way, finding some pretty good spots, dodging some great shots. I think Caden at one point had him in his sights, and FaZe reacted very well. So take nothing away. Yes, sometimes the light circles favor you, but you only get favored by the late circles if you earn your spot in the early circles.
Yeah, exactly.
And you mentioned Caden, Envy, getting the highest placement we've seen so far out of these 3 maps at GLL. You were screaming at Envy backstage in the 7th Circle, Avenger. Why do they frustrate you so much?
I mean, they not frustration per se, but I just feel like it was a Hail Mary more than a calculated positional move. And I mean, putting 2 guys into a car where everybody else is not moving, you want to move when everybody else is getting into the position after the circle. So you want to move as soon as the new circle pops. But they waited for too long. They were kind of pinned for a long time. They tried to get some rests off. But I feel like it was much of a Hail Mary more than a calculated positional move.
Is this an issue, though?
Well, and I don't want to rag on them too hard, but like it felt like a pub-style rotation, right?
Yeah.
Like the difference between a pro team and a pub team on rotation is the pro teams are in the cars with the engines running, with pre-planned options for each potential circle.
Exactly.
You know, if it goes north, we're going here. If it goes south, we're going here. A pub team says, we're going to wait, let's see where the circle goes, and then they rotate. And that's the difference here is if you go and you say, we're going to wait, then you're already 3 steps behind a guy who's never going to let you come in.
The thing about Envy is it's really frustrating because in terms of the qualifiers, really high frags, like in the 40s for Venerated and Caden. And we've seen them at LANs where they have won a chicken dinner with 20 kills, I think, is the most I've seen them get on a LAN map. And yet they just don't seem to be consistent. They don't seem to have the strats there. What do you think, Scoom?
I mean, this is our first time with this roster at LAN. This is our first LAN with Caden Venerated. Used to be with Czech Shooter, and I forgot his last teammate. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, this is the first time with Padcaps Interrogate. So it's their first LAN, and they're kind of still finding their groove. They're still finding what strats they want to run and stuff like that. I mean, they did make that a bit late rotation. You say it's either you come in really late or you go in instantly where you want to rotate. Being in between, hesitating a little bit, it's going to cost you. Being hesitant is not good.
It's also a symptom of an international tournament, right? In the same way that we see players come from other regions and they just sort of get here, and we saw it with like Luminosity, I think back in Starlighter, where they got here and like they were like, wow, like I underestimated the difficulty of this level of play.
Yeah.
They're not being as punished as hard during sort of NA scrims or the NA tournaments that they're playing in because the caliber of 16 teams who don't miss a shot, who punish you on every rotation, isn't necessarily there. And that goes for most of the regions. When you come here and you're FaZe or Liquid, a team that is pedigreed at playing at this level, they have a distinct advantage over a team that maybe only gets to do it once in a while, like say E United, who's here. This is their first, I think, international LAN outside of say like PGI qualifiers. So these teams are definitely struggling to keep up a little bit.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with Padcaps, but I know Integra obviously from his Nova days, and we know he's a super aggressive player, so you've already got 2 aggressive players. You add a third. Again, I've yet to see enough from Pat within that team to know much about him. You guys can fill me in if you know any better. But do you think now they've got a weak spot because they've got no one who's going to be bringing them together and actually getting that chicken dinner?
Me and Toffees actually spoke about that, about this roster, and I feel like we both agreed that they're amazing players, but we feel like they're a bit too aggressive. There's no one like passive that can hold them back, because you need that. You sometimes need to be a little bit passive. You need someone to hold them back and tell them not to be so aggressive, to do this in instant pushes and stuff. So I'm curious to see if they develop and actually maybe take a step back, but knowing their personalities, knowing the individuals, we don't know if that's going to be
Also, what happened against El Giganten, right? I mean, they're essentially this red-black deck that's just coming aggressive, and El Giganten's spreading out. They're using smart plays, and they just can't push them out. So when you go full aggro, any kind of control beats you, and that's, I think, where they're running into right now is sometimes you can't just play Smash Mouth PUBG. It's all about finesse at this level, finding the right balance.
Especially not on these settings, because we're playing on settings and on point system that you need to be not as like Smash Mouth, as you say. I feel like they need that kind of backline guy holding them. I don't want to say leash, but the backline guy, with the overview, saying, guys, you don't need to push this. You need to kind of hold back here because we need to be ready for the next circle. Obviously, as we talked about earlier, like the later stage of the circles, you need to have a plan no matter where the circle goes.
After scores, I want to come back to push structure because I think he touches on something that's very important that a lot of teams are not doing.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the scores on the doors. We're going to start with a breakdown of that last game. As we already know, FaZe took their first chicken dinner. Usually, they leave it till day 2, but they're obviously setting their intentions early this time round. We love to see it. Accelerate Gaming, really curious about them, actually. They've been pretty consistent in their placement so far, and a really great high fragging round for them, too. And, of course, Liquid, again, coming in third, thanks to Santi. He's very, very good at lying down, that boy.
So, and that's where Liquid is quite good, I think, and they follow that sort of ability to escape philosophy, and it's about structuring your team in the way that you play aggressively for that. Now let's see how they're looking at the overall. 4th place, 16 kills. It's working, but Accelerate, damn, takes over first.
They're doing an Optic. They're not closing, but they're playing for that placement. And I spoke to Valiant, the IGL for Optic, and the rest of the boys before we got going. Obviously, we mentioned earlier, this is their last LAN with Optic as their org. They're going to stick together as a team, though. They clearly work together super well, and they have been for the last 6 months or so. They have been practicing really hard to close because this is their issue, right, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Optic, low amount of frags. The first place and second place obviously has the same amount of points because, or the reason why that Accelerate's on the top is because the placement points, the average placement is more important than the amount of frags. But still, Optic there in the top 7 with only 7 kills also talk to their survivability, and that's